So I just had my second appointment with my nutritionist and it's going really well. When I went to the doctor's the middle of last year, my doctor asked me if I wanted to go to a nutritionist and I was like, no, just tell me some things that are good to eat and some things that I shouldn't eat. And so I didn't go. My fiance started going to a nutritionist at the end of last year, 2024. And after hearing about how his meeting went, which was online by the way, it was on Zoom. He didn't have to go anywhere. I said, "Okay, I'll try it out." And so I just had my second appointment. My nutritionist's name is Andrea. She's wonderful. I love her so much. One of the main things that she tells me to remember is to give yourself grace. And people say that all the time with anything, and I think that's good. I've just come to find that I have a very interesting relationship with food. And for her to just constantly telling me to remind myself to give myself grace when it comes to these things, like while I'm on my healthy eating journey, that you should give yourself grace and it's perfectly okay. And I told her that. I said, I remember you said that because on Saturday I went out and I had a burger and fries and I was like, Andrea told me to give myself grace and to feel okay about it, and I did. And she said that that's really good because some people, if that happens, if they have a cheat day or whatever, then they're either very restrictive on themselves afterwards or they just give up altogether. So it's good to kind of have that really healthy balance in between. So I'm using the Nourish app. You've probably seen ads of them promoting this, but so far I'm really liking it. Like I said, I've only had 2 meetings with my nutritionist. She has me logging all of my meals, which I'm really good at. I know some people don't like logging their meals, but I think it kind of helps me. It kind of gives me a sense of accountability, especially knowing that she's looking at it. So I'm logging my meals, and then there's like a few other things that I'm working on. But essentially for the first meeting in this, it's kind of just like an introductory meeting. It's 1 hour. Your nutritionist, who you can pick from. So basically when you sign up, you put in your goals, what you're looking to get out of it, what your focus is on, and they'll kind of match you up with nutritionists who are specialized in those areas, and you can kind of pick who you want. It's kind of like ZocDoc, like you look for your doctor yourself. And then in the first introductory meeting, you're just talking about yourself, your current habits, and things you don't like, things you want to work on, things you do like, exercise routines, all depending on what your specific goals are, what you're trying to do. From there, we kind of set small goals, and with logging my meals, she told me to kind of, because I'm just starting, she said to eat how I would normally eat so that she can get a sense of, what my calories are looking like, what my carb intake is looking like. So she can have a sense of what I'm doing normally, and then we can go from there. Side note, this is not an ad, but I really want to try this blush that I got. It's called On the Go Blush Tinted Moisturizer Stick. Okay. And then in the second meeting, which is the meeting I just had, we kind of went over all the foods that I ate, and just comparing it to, like I said, what my goals are, what I want to work on, things that we can adjust. And I really like her because, we're starting small. So I think my calorie intake needed to go up. She said, we're not gonna, jump to it, but we're gonna start small and take little steps at a time, which I really appreciate. And then she'd also, after giving me a recommendation for something, she would say, how do you feel about doing that? Like, is that something you think you could do? Is there something else you'd want to do instead? So she's really good at giving feedback, but also making sure that this is actually something that I would be comfortable doing. Oh, okay. I don't have any other makeup on right now. That's kind of cute. Oh, that's cute. Maybe my fingers. I feel like this was definitely... on my nose, it kind of looks like I'm breaking out or something. I don't know. I feel like if I don't have primer or anything on with this, or if I don't use setting powder, if I don't use setting powder, it probably is gonna rub off. That's how I feel because it's a cream. Like, I definitely need something to keep it there. Like, that's my nose. If I blew my nose or something, that would be gone. That would be on the tissue. It was like a nice bit of color, I guess. So anyway, this is one of the things that I'm doing for 2025. I'm really trying to stay consistent. I think consistency is like the perfect word for what I'm trying to do. So I'm trying to stay consistent with my nutritionist and all the goals I have for being healthy. I'm also trying to stay consistent with my content creation and uploading to YouTube, which is why I'm making this video, and also to Instagram as well. Please follow me on Instagram. I'm going to link my page down below. Like I've always, in the back of my mind, we always have that thought where it's like, by now I could have been blank, or by now it could have been this, or I could have gotten this. And especially knowing I can do it, I'm just gonna stay consistent. I have something that's helping me is this 2025 planner that I got. It has like, you know, all the months and whatnot. And so I'm trying to stay on top of it. So I'm making like to-dos for like the upcoming week so that I don't forget. And I always carry it around with me wherever I go. Not like outside, but in the house, so that I can just stay on top of it and checking it just to make sure I'm crossing things off the list and getting things done. And also to write more things down if I have new ideas. So I'm gonna stay consistent and keep writing all of my things that I want to do in this. I think like a lot of other small creators maybe have a full-time job. I am not putting anything related to that job in this. This is all about my personal life. So I like to keep work and personal life separate. I don't talk about things I do in my personal life at work. That's just my preference. A lot of people do. I am not a sharer like that. I like to keep it separate because I like things that are mine to be mine. I don't want people at work, I don't want your opinions on it. I don't want questions, nothing. There are some things that I share, and some people like to do that. That's perfectly fine. I cannot function that way. So like I said, this is all about this book is just all about things that I'm doing in my personal life, things that I want to accomplish. And I think it's all about setting short goals. Like I wanted to know what you guys do to stay consistent with anything that you do. I think a part of it for me is, like I said, holding myself accountable. So logging my meals, writing down my goals, having a checklist, something that I can physically like check off and see to remind myself to do these things. Otherwise, it'll just be in my head like, oh, that's an idea. Yeah, I should do that. Okay, I'll get to it whenever. Like, no, write it down, set realistic goals, start small. And I think so far that's kind of been helping me. So I'm gonna stay focused. Exercise is another thing. So that's probably one of the hardest things to stay consistent with. Logging my meals, I can do easy, but exercise, my thing is, once I stop, it's hard to get back into it, but I'm really, really focused. I'm starting with 20 minutes a day. I know to some people that's probably nothing. They'll probably be like, you can't gain anything from that, but that's like a realistic thing. With all the busy things I have to do in my schedule during the week, that is very realistic for me to start with. So exercising 20 minutes a day, maybe one extra day, that's 30 minutes with weights. That's kind of what I'm doing right now. Hopefully, it will like improve after that. One of the most important things is making realistic goals. I shouldn't, start the new year saying, I'm gonna go to the gym 3 times a week. Like, sure. I mean, for some people that might be very doable, but for me personally, I would love to do that, but there's no way I'm gonna go to the gym. I can't. I don't know. Everyone is different, right? I think you just have to figure out what works for you and kind of build on that. How are you guys like staying consistent with like anything that you do? So let me know what you guys are doing to stay consistent throughout anything that you're doing throughout your day, what your goals are. Creating content is definitely hard because it's not just like pick up my phone and film this candle being lit and post it on Instagram. It's like I have to sit down and talk to you guys about something. So I'm trying to find things to talk about that I am really passionate about, that I have a lot to say on. I think this was a really good topic, and hopefully it can help someone, and you guys can also help me as well. Yeah, I mean, consistency 2025. We got this. I'm excited. I'm excited to keep pushing through so that when it's like my birthday in May, I'm not gonna be on my birthday like, wow, I wonder where I could have been if I stayed consistent exercising, if I stayed consistent talking to my nutritionist and eating healthy. I'm gonna actually do it so that by my birthday, I'm gonna say, wow, I did it. Like, regardless of like where I am, like even if I didn't hit the goal mark, it's like I still stayed consistent and I'm still making progress. That's what we want. We want progress. So excited. So please subscribe to me on YouTube and also follow me on Instagram and TikTok if you want. And I'll be seeing more of you soon.